Welcome back. Welcome to the basics of investment, introduction to markets. Next topic is regulators. These topics are little theory in nature, so you would see me reading some of the stuff. But then these are some of the very important things that you would need to know. And there are also, I strongly recommend you to go to the website and read through this material one more time because it will only help you in long term. Okay, so let's get back to the regulators without spending too much of time on this. Risk disclosure, you already know. What is stock market? We last time we talked about different ways in which you could invest your money, how and uh, in which ways the investments would be able to make you tons of money. And we also talked about stock market could be one of the lucrative, one of the good return giving avenues. So look at the stock market. Stock market is any other market, just like a mandi that you have in your place. It's a place where one can buy and sell stocks or equity. Now, when I say stocks or equity, what really is stock? What really is equity? Let's say you have a large corporation. Let's say SBI, and SBI is making a lot of money by taking people's deposits, giving loans, earning the interest on the deposits, earning the interest on the loans and paying the interest on the deposits and the difference. And then they get into a lot of other things. They have got mutual fund of themselves. They've got a lot of other tertiary services that they offer, and they make a lot of money. Now, you as an individual, you may not be able to start an SBI, but you want or you think it's a very good place to be, and you want to invest in banking, or it could be Infosys, it could be any other setup, it could be Tata Motors, Maruti. You want actually, you say that these organizations look very nice, and why can't I have a share in that? Why can't I give a little bit of my money? Of course, these people will need a lot of money. Little bit of my money, can I invest into these companies? And stock market or stock is precisely that way of doing it. So what they do is they split the companies, uh, the floating capital in a number of shares. Every share has a face value, sometimes 10 rupees, sometimes 100 rupees, sometimes 1 rupee. And for that face value, whatever people are willing to pay is the current price that is going on in the market. And we are going to talk about what is the face value and how to calculate the fair value of a share, and all these things in the fundamental classes. But then here, the moment you invest into that particular company, every profit that the company makes, you are now entitled to that profit, share of that profit, of course. And then what happens is, at end of every year, the companies, out of all the profit that they make, they decide part of the profit to be reinvested into the growth of the organization, and part of the profit they distribute. Okay, they basically distribute that profit in form of dividends. Hmm? So how you make money buying stocks or in the equity market is, if I take part ownership in a company, I would be getting yearly, sometimes quarterly dividends. That is the part of the profits. And then if the company is doing good, if there are more buyers to the company, the base value, the value of the company keeps on growing. So does the price of my share. And when price of my share goes up, I get nothing but the capital gain. At the other side of the story, companies can raise money for their investments, they can raise money for their growth, they can raise money by liquidating their equity rather than taking Debt is the we have seen the path of debt in one of our videos earlier. So if you take debt, it's like committing a kind of a suicide where you have the liability. When companies give you equity, they are not really building a liability, they are just taking an investor. So it's beneficial on the both sides. So now, since we have understood what really is stock market, let's talk a little bit about how the stock market of yesterday's, or how they had. They used to be called pits. Pit was like a ring where you play kushti, and in that ring, people used to go with sheets of paper, small sheets of paper, and then they used to keep shouting and screaming and saying, in it's like a bully that you have. If you go to auction, what happens is, in an auction, let's say I'm selling an antique piece. Let's say somebody wants to sell Mona Lisa drawing by Picasso, and they want to sell it through auction. So what they say is, let's say $1 billion, $1 billion one, $1 billion two, $1 billion three, and there is no more bidder beyond that. So he owns this particular painting. Now, same thing if needs to happen for stocks. Now, here there's only one person who could own the Mona Lisa painting because it's a unique piece. But in the real life, when it comes to stock market, there are a lot of people who own the stock, right? There are a lot of people who want to buy a particular stock. Let's say we talked about SBI. So there would be a million plus people who have got SBI shares, right from one share to probably thousands, millions of shares of SBI. You could have a mutual fund with a lot of tons of shares. And then similarly, on the buyer side, you could have a very small buyer like you and me who wants to buy one share, 10 shares, 100 shares. And then you would also have mutual fund who wants to buy tons of SBI shares. What happened in those pits was, these stock brokers, you had to have a stockbroker. Even today, you have to have stockbroker. These brokers physically used to sit there. On the other side, they had their customers who would say, I want to buy SBI if it goes to 300, I want to sell SBI if it goes to 350, and so on and so forth. The instructions were given to these brokers, and they used to be sitting in that stock pit and then screaming and shouting the moment they think the price is right, and they would just drop the paper. And then those papers were collected every hour, end of every hour, and then the settlement used to happen. You need to make sure that what's happening, right? So in that hour, sometimes some places it used to be 10 minutes. In that hour, there used to be a lot of shouting, screaming, somebody's buying, somebody's selling. There used to be lots of anomalies. When the settlement used to happen, that time others used to know, oh, SBI got sold at 310. I wanted to sell it at 305, but I could not get the opportunity because I did not hear the other stockbroker. So there used to be lots of such anomalies. And then after 1 hour, when the quick settlement happens, then I can start selling my SBI. Now it is 310. Somebody has sold or bought. So those were the days where it used to be a lot of individualistic human. Now what we have is the electronic media. Computers are faster than ever, and we are able to do a lot more computing than we used to be able to do it by hands. I mean, a computer can compute within fraction of a second what you as a human being would compute for probably a month's time. So now what happens now is, you have got orders. We are going to be talking about these in our following courses. So you've got people who want to buy, you've got people who want to sell, and those orders get matched automatically on the electronic platform. And as they are getting matched, you can actually see. So a broker who used to go there and shout and scream on your behalf now is able to just provide a screen to all you and me, and we can go there and we could do that. Stockbroker helps us access the market, and if you want to get the names, the largest exchanges in India are BSE and NSE. You have got Bangalore Exchange, you have got a few more exchanges here and there, but I would not recommend you to go to those exchanges because there are not volumes out there. So stick to BSE and NSE. Who participates in the stock market? Now we talked about people like you and me, then we talked about the mutual funds. Let's complete the list. Okay, so the first one, in terms of numbers, this is huge. We have got domestic retail participants, you and me, who every Indian citizen has got a right to participate in the market. It's perfectly legal, it's not gambling. Yes, people do look at it as gambling, but I don't, and you should not. Then next one is the NRIs and the OCIs. These are the special treatment that we give to our NRIs, and they could also do investments in India. Then we have got the domestic institutions, LIC of India. These are very important because these are the institutions which can think wisely, especially in their time of crash. There's been a lot of crashes, and at those crashes, at a point of time, the domestic institutions actually start buying the stocks, so thereby reducing the intensity of the fail. Next one is the asset management companies. You've got all the mutual funds and all the other players in the market. And then what you have is a FII. These are the people who got in very recently, few years back. And what they actually have is these are the non-national or non-Indian entities, and they have been given access to the market. So one of the very interesting thing about FII is that these people get chance to raise capital at a very low interest rates in US and Japan and all the other Western economies, and they get a chance to come to India to make quick buck, and it basically provides us with a lot of liquidity also that helps. So now, you must have heard about SEBI. SEBI. There are a lot of things which go about SEBI or the regulator, or whichever way you would have read. If you go to CNBC, you have got news coming in every other day. Uh, SEBI is actually the police of the stock market, and these are the main jobs of SEBI. And just like any other police department, they are responsible to have players like you and me not getting cheated at any point in time. So they look at the stock exchanges. Are they conducting their business fairly? Are they not cheating anyone? Stock brokers, sub brokers are conducting their business fairly. You can always put a complaint to SEBI, and SEBI will act. Participants don't get involved in unfair practices. There have been lot of cases of um, there have been a lot of cases of insider trading. There have been a lot of cases of stocks getting rigged and other things. And we make sure, the SEBI makes sure that these kind of practices don't happen. I mean, at the end of the day, we are all humans, right? There are limitations. So even after having police, you have thefts. But then that doesn't say that the police is not doing anything. So SEBI is actually very active. Then corporates, they are not using markets to unduly benefit themselves. Like Satyam. Satyam was one of the cases that SEBI actually started with. Small retail investors' interests are protected. This is the most important thing. Large investors with huge cash pile should not manipulate the markets. And then overall markets are developing. There are new things coming in. There are new risk management which is going on. There are a lot of other things which are happening. How does SEBI do all these things? So what SEBI has done in return, they have created different entities to look at different areas of regulation. So the first one is the credit rating agency. These are CRISILs and ICRAs of this world, and The most important thing is the last column. In simpler words, what they really do. So what do rating agencies do? If a corporate or government entity wants to avail loan, CRA checks if it is worthy of giving loan. Okay, there are a lot of people you talk about CIBIL score and all these things, right? So these are the rating in agencies. Next one is the debenture trustees. So when companies want to raise a loan or issue debenture, fixed asset bonds, these guys are the ones, they ensure that all the obligations in the debentures are honored. Next one is the depository. There are two very important things that will come in again and again. One is depository, and the second one is depository participant. Depositories are the NSDL and CDSL, and they act in the background, and they are the ones who are custodians. They are like the locker of the demat. So whenever you buy stock or whenever you sell stock, all the transactions happen on the electronic format, but then there has to be a locker which says that in my demat account, these are the number of shares that I have at this point in time, and that locker is provided by the depository. But these lockers are not accessible to anyone. They are only accessible to depository participants. So most of the banks and the stockbrokers are also depository participants. So they have access. They can go inside the depository and access your lockers. That's basically it. We talked about FII. So there could be foreign corporates, funds, individuals. These are the people who have got large amount of money, and they have capability of manipulating or moving the markets. I wouldn't call it manipulating, moving the markets. Then you have got merchant bankers. Okay, Carvey, Axis Bank, Edelweiss Capital. These are the merchant bankers who help company raise money by floating an IPO. So when company wants to go to the IPO route, they have to go to one of these merchant bankers, and they help them evaluate their company for the price. So for example, sometime back DMart had listed. So who decides at what price it needs to be decided? These merchant bankers actually work with the organization, and they help. They you need to have a seal or an approval from your merchant banker saying this is my valuation report, and based on this company should be valued at this particular point, and that's why the share should be charged at this level. Next one is AMCs. These are the basically the mutual fund companies who collect money from the normal public and put money into a single amount and then invest it into the market. The lot of people today are using the mutual fund schemes. I am not against of these mutual fund schemes, especially for the people who are less educated. They don't understand enough of finance. They should go to mutual fund route, because the money is being taken care of. You got experts who could work on people like you and me who are little intelligent than the other normal people. We can always have our own theories to invest our own money, and then do it ourselves. It's a personal choice that people have to have. Then next one is the portfolio managers. Now this is very similar to mutual fund. The only thing is that the PMS, one has to invest minimum 25 lakhs, and then they work on little bit of a different paradigm. There are actually different laws, rules that are applicable to these guys, and the money is also invested in little different ways. We will talk about these when time to come. And then the last one, stockbrokers and the sub brokers. These are the most important players if you want to directly get involved into stock market, which I believe you want to. And you will have to have an account with these stockbrokers who will give you a terminal, or who will give you an individual to talk to, or whatever, so that your orders reach to the stock exchange. Okay, so these are the different entities that are managed by SBI. There are few more. So, for instance, if I need to start giving tips, I don't intend to, by the way. If somebody wants to start giving tips on the stocks, you need to be registered with SEBI. If you want to do anything with the stock market, which touches large population on the other side, you have to prove that you are worthy of getting into that business, and you need to get registration from SEBI. Without that, you cannot really do anything. So with this we have come to an end. Thanks a lot, and keep watching. Yes, this was little bit of a theory, but then it's very important that we understand the theory before it's very important that we have got a very strong base or strong foundation on which we can build a very strong building. So thank you. Enjoy your day, and let's talk about the next lesson, maybe in a week's time. Cheers. Have a good day. अरे यार, ये काय चाललंय? हेलो 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 हेलो